Start before you feel ready. You have felt it before, that small voice inside you that whispers, wait a little longer. It tells you to read one more book, save more money, lose 5 pounds, or plan every detail first. This voice sounds helpful, but it is actually the biggest thief of your dreams. It makes you believe that someday you will wake up feeling completely ready. That someday never comes for most people. They stay stuck in a circle of thinking and waiting. The truth is simple and sharp. Readiness is not a real feeling. It is just fear wearing a clever mask. This book will not ask you to eliminate fear. It will ask you to walk right through it with messy, bold, imperfect steps. You will learn why starting ugly beats planning perfectly every single time. You will discover tiny actions that break the spell of overthinking. You will meet your own excuses and laugh at them. Most importantly, you will prove to yourself that waiting is the only real failure. The chapters ahead are short, direct, and made to move you. Do not read this book like a normal book. Read it like a push forward. Turn the page only if you are ready to start before you feel ready. Chapter 1. The Myth of the Perfect Moment. Imagine waiting for the perfect wave at the beach for 10 whole years. That is exactly what most people do with their lives every single day. They think one day their energy, money, and courage will all line up like magic. That magic day has never happened for anyone in history. Not for famous singers, not for rich business owners, not for Olympic athletes. They all started on boring, ordinary, imperfect Tuesdays. The perfect moment is a story we tell ourselves to feel safe while staying stuck. This story feels good in the moment, but hurts deeply years later. Think about the last time you waited for something to be just right. Maybe it was starting a workout plan, writing a book, or asking someone out. You told yourself you needed more time to prepare or feel confident. But more time only made you feel less confident, not more. That is the tricky part of waiting. Your brain gets used to not acting and calls it being careful. Being careful for too long turns into being frozen. You are not actually preparing anymore. You are hiding in plain sight. Here is a strange truth that will set you free. People who succeed do not feel ready either. They just start moving before their fear catches its breath. The difference between you and them is not talent or luck. The difference is a 5-second choice to take one shaky step. That step might be typing one sentence, packing one bag, or sending one message. It does not have to be beautiful or smart or impressive. It just has to be real. Ready is a lie. Action is the only truth that matters. Let me tell you about Anna, who waited 3 years to open her small bakery. She kept studying recipes, watching videos, and saving tiny amounts of money. She wanted the perfect location, the perfect oven, and the perfect cinnamon rolls. One day her friend dragged her to a weekend market with just a folding table. She baked 12 ugly but tasty rolls and sold out in an hour. That messy table became her real start. The perfect bakery never existed. Only imperfect action did. Anna learned that starting ugly beats waiting beautifully. You have a million reasons to wait right now. Your health is not great, your bank account is low, your family does not believe in you. Those reasons feel heavy and true, but they are not walls. They are just wet cement that will harden if you keep standing still. The moment you take one step, that cement cracks. Suddenly you see paths you never noticed before. Problems that looked huge become small stepping stones. This is not positive thinking. This is how human brains actually work when we move. Motion creates new options. Waiting destroys them. Your challenge today is tiny but powerful. Pick one thing you have been waiting to start. It can be very small, like cleaning one drawer or sending one email. Do not prepare for it. Do not make a list for it. Do not wait until you feel excited or sure. Just do the smallest possible first piece of it right now. That piece might take only 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds will break the waiting spell forever. Remember this chapter every time you hear yourself say, "I'll start when the time is right." The right time is a lie. This time is the only real time you have. Chapter 2. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear feels terrible in your body. Your stomach twists, your hands sweat, and your heart beats too fast. Most people feel these signs and immediately stop moving backward. They think fear means danger, warning, or a sign to wait longer. But here is the secret that changes everything. Fear actually means you are standing at the edge of growth. Your body is not saying stop. Your body is saying this matters deeply to you. The same fear appears before a speech, a date, a race, or a big decision. It is just your ancient brain trying to protect you from the unknown. You do not have to obey it. Think about a child learning to ride a bike without training wheels. That child feels real fear before the first push. Their legs shake and their eyes get wide with worry. But every good parent knows the answer is not to take the bike away. The answer is to hold the seat and say, "I've got you, try." That child might fall and scrape a knee. Then they get back up and try again until the fear fades. The fear did not disappear before they started. It disappeared because they started. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is just the engine warming up before the ride. You have probably felt fear before every brave thing you ever did. Think back to your first day at a new school or your first job interview. You were scared and shaky, but you walked through the door anyway. After 30 minutes, the fear was gone or much smaller. That is proof that action kills fear faster than thinking ever can. Your mind blows fear up like a balloon while you wait. But the moment you move, that balloon pops into nothing. The scariest moment is always the 2 seconds before you begin. After that, you are too busy doing to feel afraid. Let me share a trick that athletes and performers use all the time. They rename their fear as excitement because both feelings are almost identical in the body. Fast heartbeat, quick breathing, and focused attention feel exactly the same for fear and excitement. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about those feelings. If you say, "I am scared," your body tightens up and stops. If you say, "I am excited," your body opens up and moves forward. Try this right now. Take a shaky feeling and whisper to yourself, "This is excitement." You just turned a stop sign into a green light. Here is a simple rule to live by from this day forward. Let fear talk, but do not let it vote. Fear can say anything it wants inside your head. It can call you stupid, not ready, or doomed to fail. You can listen politely like you would listen to a nervous friend. Then you say thank you and take the next step anyway. Fear does not have hands. Fear cannot actually stop your legs from walking or your fingers from typing. Only you can stop you. Fear is just background noise like a barking dog down the street. Do you stop your whole life for every barking dog? No, you keep walking. Your mission for this chapter is to do one thing that makes you slightly uncomfortable today. Speak up in a meeting. Post that picture you have been hiding. Try a new hobby where you will look silly at first. Notice every single fear feeling in your body without running away from it. Label the feeling as excitement instead of terror. Then take the smallest step forward you can manage. That step might be typing 3 words or opening 1 door. Congratulate yourself not for doing it perfectly, but for doing it scared. You just proved that fear is not your boss. Fear is just your warm-up. Chapter 3: The 5-second jump. There is a tiny window of time between a thought and an action. That window lasts about 5 seconds before your brain talks you out of moving. In those 5 seconds, your inner critic wakes up and starts listing all the reasons to wait. You think, "I should call that client," and then your brain says, "But what if they say no?" You think, "Let me go for a run," and your brain says, "But you are too tired today." Those 5 seconds are where dreams go to die quietly. But they are also where heroes are made in secret. The trick is to move before those 5 seconds run out. Count backwards from 5 and jump before the excuses arrive. This trick works because your brain cannot do 2 things at the same time. When you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you distract the scared part of your mind. While it is busy counting, your body can sneak in and take action before the fear returns. This is not magic or wishful thinking. This is basic brain science that anyone can use for free. Try it right now with something very small. Think of one tiny action you have been avoiding. Then count backwards from 5 and move your body before you finish the number 1. You will be shocked at how simple and powerful this feels. The countdown breaks the waiting spell every single time. Most people think they need motivation before they can take action. They wait around for a lightning bolt of energy that almost never comes. But here is the truth that top performers know well. Action comes first, and motivation follows behind like a happy dog. You cannot think your way into feeling ready. You can only act your way into feeling ready. The 5-second rule gives you a bridge from thinking to doing. It does not care if you feel scared, tired, or silly. It only cares that you move your body before your mind builds a prison. Counting down is the key that unlocks that prison door. Let me tell you about a writer who could not write a single page for 6 months. She sat at her desk every morning staring at a blank screen full of fear. Then she learned the 5-second rule and decided to test it. She counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and forced her fingers to type one ugly sentence. That sentence was terrible, but it broke the ice completely. She wrote another sentence and then another until she had a full page. 6 months of waiting disappeared in one 5-second jump. That writer finished her book in 90 days after that morning. She still uses the countdown before every writing session today. Fear never left. She just learned to move faster than fear. You can use this rule for anything that makes you hesitate. Waking up early. Count 54,321 and throw off the covers. Making a hard phone call. Count down and dial before you can hang up. Starting a workout. Count down and put on your shoes before your brain argues. The beauty of this tool is that it works when you feel 0% ready. It does not ask you to be brave, strong, or confident. It only asks you to count and move like a robot following orders. Your feelings can catch up later after the action is already done. That is the secret that changes everything. Feelings follow actions. They never lead them. Your practice for today is simple and a little bit fun. Pick 3 small tasks you usually avoid or delay. These can be sending an email, washing 3 dishes, or stretching your body for 2 minutes. For each task, you will use the 5-second countdown without thinking. Count backwards loudly in your head or even whisper it out loud. Then move your body before you reach 1. No excuses allowed. Notice how your brain tries to argue during the count. Notice how the arguing stops once you are already moving. You just hacked your own mind for free. Do this for every hesitation you feel this week. Soon the countdown will become automatic. Soon you will start before you even remember to feel scared. Chapter 4. Ugly First Steps Win Races. Everyone loves to show off their beautiful results on social media. You see the perfect cake, the clean house, the fit body, and the best-selling book. What you never see are the ugly, messy, terrible first attempts behind each success. The first cake looked like a sad pancake. The first book chapter read like a confused robot wrote it. The first workout was probably 5 minutes of heavy breathing and giving up. Those ugly first steps are the secret that no one posts online. They are also the only path to anything worth doing. You cannot skip the ugly phase. You can only move through it as fast as possible. Your brain hates looking bad in front of other people. This hatred is so strong that it will convince you to not start at all. It will whisper things like, "What will they think?" or "You are embarrassing yourself." These whispers feel like wisdom, but they are just fear of judgment dressed up as logic. The truth is that every single skilled person you admire looked like a fool at first. The guitarist played horrible noise before they played music. The artist drew stick figures before they drew portraits. The runner could not finish 1 block before they ran a marathon. Ugly first steps are not shameful. Ugly first steps are a required course for greatness. Here is a freeing thought that will lighten your shoulders right now. Nobody is watching you as closely as you think they are. Most people are too busy worrying about their own ugly first steps to notice yours. And the few people who do notice and laugh, those people never start anything themselves. Their opinion is worthless because they have never felt the fear of beginning. Would you take advice on swimming from someone who never enters the water? Of course not. So stop caring about opinions from people who play it safe forever. Their comfort zone is not where you want to live. Your ugly first step is already better than their perfect plan that never moved. Let me share a real example that might shock you. The first version of the light bulb was terrible and barely worked at all. The first airplane flew for only 12 seconds and looked like a broken kite. The first iPhone had no app store, no copy-paste, and a very slow network. Each of these ugly starts led to world-changing results because the makers did not stop. They showed their messy work to the world and improved it based on real feedback. They did not wait until everything was perfect because perfect does not exist. They started ugly and then made beauty over time. That is the only real path to winning anything. Think about your own life for a moment. When did you learn to walk as a baby? You fell hundreds of times in the most awkward way possible. Did you say, "This is too embarrassing, I will wait until I am ready"? No, you just kept falling and standing up again and again. You did not care that your walking looked ugly at first. You only cared about moving forward to reach the toy you wanted. That fearless baby is still inside you right now. That baby did not need confidence to stand up. That baby only needed desire and a willingness to look silly. Go find that baby inside you today. Let that baby teach you how to start again. Your action for this chapter is to create something intentionally ugly. Write 3 terrible sentences for a story. Draw a silly picture with no skill at all. Sing a song badly while you cook dinner. Post something imperfect online without editing it 10 times. The goal is not to make something good. The goal is to prove to yourself that ugly output does not kill you. The world keeps spinning, your friends still love you, and nothing bad happens. In fact, you might feel strangely free after making something ugly. That freedom is the gateway to consistent action. Consistent action is the real mother of all success. Start ugly today and thank yourself tomorrow. Chapter 5. Your inner perfectionist is a liar. There is a voice in your head that wants everything to be just right. This voice tells you to wait until you have better skills, more time, or the ideal situation. It sounds responsible and mature, like a careful parent protecting you from mistakes. But this voice is actually a liar wearing a very convincing mask. The perfectionist does not want you to succeed. The perfectionist wants you to stay small and safe forever. Real success requires mess, errors, and constant learning from things that go wrong. The perfectionist knows this and tries to stop you before you begin. Do not trust this voice just because it sounds polite. Let me show you how the perfectionist lies to you every single day. It says, you need one more course before you start your business. Then after that course it says, you need more savings first. Then after saving it says, the market is not ready for you yet. Each new goalpost moves farther away as soon as you get close. This is not logic. This is a trap designed to keep you preparing forever. Meanwhile, someone with half your skills and zero preparation just started and is already learning. They are failing forward while you are planning perfectly. Who do you think will be further ahead in 1 year? The starter beats the perfect planner every time. The opposite of perfectionism is not laziness or carelessness. The opposite of perfectionism is something much more valuable called good enough. Good enough means the work is done, shared, and improving. Good enough means you showed up even when it was not beautiful. Good enough means you value progress over the impossible dream of flawlessness. The most successful creators in any field are not the most perfect. They are the most consistent people who ship their work regularly. They know that an okay product in hand is better than a perfect product in your imagination. Done is the engine of growth. Perfect is the parking brake. Here is a strange but powerful exercise to try today. Give yourself permission to be bad on purpose at something. Write a work email with 1 typo left in it. Cook dinner without measuring any ingredients. Make a social media post that is not beautifully edited. Notice what happens when you release the pressure of being perfect. You will probably feel lighter, faster, and more playful. You might even enjoy the activity more than usual because the fear of judgment drops away. The people who see your imperfect work will not reject you. Most will not even notice the flaws you stressed over all day. Perfectionism invents problems that do not actually exist. Think about the last time you saw someone else make a small mistake. Did you hate them forever and burn their picture? No, you probably did not even remember it 5 minutes later. But when you make the same mistake, your perfectionist tells you it is a disaster. This double standard is completely unfair to yourself. You offer grace to strangers but demand impossible perfection from your own soul. That imbalance will keep you stuck and unhappy for years if you let it. Start treating yourself like you would treat a good friend. A good friend who tries and falls gets a hand up, not a lecture. Give yourself that same kindness today. Your mistakes are not monsters. Your mistakes are just data for learning. Your challenge is to ship something imperfect within the next 24 hours. It can be a text message you have been overthinking. It can be a small project you have been hiding from the world. It can even be a spoken opinion in a group that might disagree with you. The rule is simple. No editing more than twice. No asking 5 friends for their opinion first. No waiting for the perfect mood or perfect moment. Just create, check briefly, and send it out the door. Then watch how the world does not end. Watch how you feel proud instead of ashamed. You just proved the perfectionist is a liar. Keep proving it every day until that voice gets quiet. That quiet will be the sound of your freedom. Chapter 6. Done is better than perfect. Seriously. You have heard this phrase before, but you have not truly believed it yet. Your actions still show that you value perfect over done most of the time. You rewrite emails 5 times before sending them. You rearrange your closet instead of leaving the house on time. You wait to share your art until you have fixed every tiny flaw. This perfection delay is stealing your life 1 minute at a time. Done work can be improved later. Perfect work that never ships improves nothing and no one. The world does not need your perfect creation hidden in a drawer. The world needs your good enough creation in its hands today. Let me explain why done beats perfect using simple math. A finished project that is 70% good has 100% value. It exists. It can be used, shared, sold, or learned from. A perfect project that never launches has 0% value no matter how beautiful it is. 0 times anything is still 0. That is not an opinion. That is a fact of physics and business and art. The only way to create value is to finish things and put them into the real world. You can always make version 2 better than version 1, but you cannot make version 1 at all if you never finish version 1. Done creates a platform for better. Perfect creates a cage for nothing. Think about how software apps update constantly with new versions. The first iPhone would look terrible compared to today's phone, but Apple did not wait 20 years to release the perfect phone. They released a good enough phone and then improved it every single year. That is exactly how you should treat your own projects and goals. Release the first draft, the first attempt, the first version without fear. Call it version 1 and promise yourself version 2 will be better. Version 1 gives you real feedback from real people. That feedback is gold that no amount of thinking alone can produce. Version 1 is not your final statement. Version 1 is your first conversation with reality. Here is a powerful tool called the Good Enough Checklist. Before you start any task, decide what good enough looks like for today. For exercise, good enough might be 10 minutes instead of your goal of 60. For writing, good enough might be 1 paragraph instead of a full chapter. For cleaning, good enough might be 1 room instead of the whole house. Write this minimum standard down before you begin working. Then stop proudly when you hit that mark without any guilt. You can always do more if you have extra energy, but you are allowed to stop at good enough without calling yourself lazy. This checklist frees you from the trap of all or nothing thinking. Small wins every day beat huge plans that never start. Stop waiting for the feeling of being done perfectly. That feeling does not exist because nothing is ever truly finished. Every book can be edited more. Every song can be mixed better. Every business can be improved in 20 ways. Artists who wait for the perfect ending never release anything at all. They keep tweaking and polishing until the opportunity passes them by. The secret is to decide when done is done enough for today. Then put a protective wall around that decision and walk away. Your brain will beg you to keep fixing. Do not listen. Trust that done is a gift you give to the world. Perfect is a gift you keep for yourself alone. Your action step for this chapter is to finish 1 incomplete project poorly. Find something you started months ago and left in a half-done state. It could be a letter, a repair, a craft project, or an online course. Forgive yourself for not finishing it perfectly before now. Then spend just 15 minutes doing the bare minimum to call it finished. Tie off the loose ends in the ugliest possible way. Write the ending that is not clever but exists. Hang the picture slightly crooked on the wall. Then stand back and celebrate that it is done. You just released trapped energy that was weighing on your mind. You just proved that done feels better than perfect ever could. Tomorrow you can make something better. Today you made something real. Chapter 7. Small, stupid daily actions. Big goals scare your brain into freezing completely. When you say, "I will write a whole book," your mind runs away in terror. When you say, "I will lose 50 pounds," your body feels exhausted before you begin. This fear response is natural, but it kills most dreams before they take a single step. The solution is not to try harder or be braver. The solution is to make your actions so small that they feel stupid. So small that your brain laughs instead of panics. So small that you almost feel embarrassed to call it progress. Those small, stupid actions are actually the secret weapon of every high achiever. Let me give you examples that sound too easy to work. Write one sentence per day instead of one chapter. Do one push-up instead of a full workout. Save $1 instead of 100. Read one page instead of a chapter. These tiny actions feel ridiculous because they are ridiculously easy. That ease is exactly why they work better than big heroic efforts. Your brain does not fight against one push-up. One push-up feels harmless and almost fun. But one push-up every day for a year is 365 push-ups. That is real progress made without any willpower battles. Tiny actions bypass your fear and sneak past your perfectionism. They are the quiet thieves of big achievements. Consider the science of habit formation for a moment. Small actions repeated daily become automatic, like brushing your teeth. You do not need motivation to brush your teeth because it is just a tiny habit. The same can happen for writing, exercising, or creating anything important. Start so small that you cannot say no even on your worst day. On your tired day, you can still write one sentence. On your busy day, you can still do one push-up. On your sad day, you can still read one page. The consistency of showing up daily matters more than the size of each action. A tiny daily step forward beats a giant leap that happens once and stops. Slow and tiny wins the race every single time. Here is a fun name for this method called the stupid small start. Pick your big scary goal and shrink it until it sounds stupid. Want to start running? Your stupid small start is putting on your shoes and stepping outside. Want to start meditating? Your stupid small start is 3 deep breaths before bed. Want to start a side business? Your stupid small start is writing down one business idea. Give yourself full permission to do only the stupid small version each day. You are not allowed to do more until the small version feels boringly easy. Only then do you increase the size by a tiny amount. This slow increase keeps you moving without burning out. Most people fail because they start too big. You will succeed because you start stupidly small. Let me tell you about a man who wanted to get fit but hated the gym. He decided to do one push-up every day while waiting for his morning coffee. That one push-up felt so silly that he sometimes laughed while doing it. But after 2 weeks, he started doing 2 push-ups without thinking. After 2 months, he was doing 20 push-ups every morning automatically. After 1 year, he was in the best shape of his life without ever forcing himself. All because one stupid small action grew into a powerful habit over time. He did not wait for motivation or the perfect workout plan. He just did one push-up while his coffee brewed. Small, stupid daily actions changed his entire body and mind. They can change your life too without any suffering. Your challenge is to pick one goal and shrink it to the stupidest level possible. Write down your stupid small action on a sticky note right now. Put that note somewhere you will see it every single day. Then do your stupid small action before you check your phone each morning. Do not judge it or compare it to what you should be doing. Just do the tiny thing and feel proud that you showed up. After 1 week, notice how the action feels normal instead of silly. After 1 month, decide if you want to increase by one tiny step. Keep the increase so small that you barely notice the change. This is how mountains are moved 1 grain of sand at a time. You are not lazy. You are just smart enough to start small. Chapter 8. What if you fail? Let's be honest. Let us stop pretending that failure is not scary. Failure can hurt your feelings, empty your wallet, and make you feel embarrassed. Pretending that failure is wonderful is not honest or helpful to anyone. But here is what almost no one tells you about failure. Failure is almost never as bad as your imagination makes it. Your brain blows up failure like a nightmare monster with 10 heads. The real failure is usually just a small bump that bruises your ego for a few days. Most failed attempts leave you alive, fed, and able to try again. The disaster you imagine almost never happens in real life. Fear of failure is usually worse than failure itself by 100 times. Let me ask you a very direct question right now. What is the absolute worst thing that could actually happen? Not the dramatic movie version, but the real boring version. If you start that business and it fails, what happens next? You might lose some money and feel sad for a few weeks. Then you would get a normal job again and be fine. If you ask that person out and they say no, what happens next? You feel awkward for 2 days and then you move on with your life. If you perform on stage and mess up, what happens next? A few people laugh and then they forget you exist by dinner time. The real worst case is almost never a life destroyer. It is just a small painful moment followed by life continuing normally. Here is the bigger hidden truth that changes your relationship with failure. Not failing actually costs you more than failing ever could. Every year you do not start costs you experience, growth, and potential income. Every dream you hide costs you a piece of your own self-respect. The real failure is not trying at all while watching others pass you by. Regret is a much heavier and longer-lasting pain than any single failure. Old people on their deathbeds never say they wish they failed more. But they always say they wish they had tried more things without fear. Failure heals in weeks or months. Regret lasts for decades inside your chest. Choose the pain that ends instead of the pain that never leaves. Let me show you a simple way to survive any failure like a pro. Make a plan called the worst-case comeback before you even start. Write down what you will do if things go badly. Will you call a friend for support? Will you take 3 days off to feel sad? Will you apply for a backup job quickly? Having this plan removes the terror of the unknown. Your brain stops panicking because there is already a rescue map ready. Most people never make this plan and stay frozen forever. You can be different by spending 10 minutes on your comeback strategy. Then start knowing you have already solved the worst case. That peace of mind is worth more than gold. Think about all the famous failures you have heard about in stories. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before the light bulb worked. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter sold. Every successful person has a long list of failures they do not show on Instagram. The difference between them and everyone else is simple. They did not stop after failing. They felt the pain, learned the lesson, and started again differently. Failure became feedback instead of a final judgment. That shift in thinking is available to you right now. You just have to decide that failure is data, not identity. You are not a failure. You are a person who sometimes fails while trying. Those are two completely different things. Your mission is to do one thing you might fail at within the next 3 days. Pick something small but real where success is not guaranteed. Send a creative idea to your boss that might get rejected. Try a new hobby where you will look unskilled at first. Make a video and post it even if only 3 people watch. Before you start, write down your worst-case comeback plan on paper. Then write down what you might learn even if you fail completely. Then take a deep breath and begin without any more waiting. When you finish, notice that you are still alive and breathing. Notice that your heart did not actually explode from fear. You just proved that failure is survivable. That proof will set you free to try bigger things tomorrow. Chapter 9: The Confidence Trick. Most people believe confidence comes before action. They think you need to feel brave, strong, and sure before you can begin anything important. This belief is completely backwards and keeps millions of people stuck forever. The truth is much stranger and much more useful. Confidence does not come first. Confidence comes after you take action again and again. You cannot think your way into confidence any more than you can think your way into strong muscles. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. Confidence is a result you build through small, repeated wins. Action is the cause. Confidence is the effect that follows behind. Let me explain this with a simple physical example. No one feels confident riding a bike before they ever try riding a bike. That would be impossible because your brain has no data about bike riding yet. You get on the bike, you wobble terribly, and you almost fall many times. Each time you wobble but do not fall, your brain collects new data. That data says, "Hey, this is not as scary as I thought." After enough wobbles that did not kill you, confidence slowly appears like sunrise. The confidence came from pedaling, not from thinking about pedaling. The same rule applies to speaking in public, starting a business, or having hard conversations. You borrow confidence from your future self by acting boldly today. Here is a trick called borrowing belief from your future self. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 6 months from now. That future you has already started and survived many things. That future you is calmer, wiser, and less afraid than you feel right now. Now ask that future you for a small loan of confidence. Pretend that future you is standing right behind you whispering, "You can do this." This is not silly imagination. This is a real mental tool used by athletes and performers worldwide. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real memory and a vividly imagined one. Borrowing confidence from your future self works because your brain believes it is real. Try it once and feel the difference immediately. Let me tell you about a woman who was terrified of public speaking. Her hands shook and her voice disappeared whenever she had to talk to groups. She waited years to feel confident before accepting a speaking invitation. That confidence never came because she never spoke in public. Finally, she borrowed belief from her future self and accepted a tiny 5-minute talk. She shook the whole time and forgot 2 sentences completely. But she finished and did not die from embarrassment. The next talk was slightly less scary. The 10th talk felt almost normal. After 50 talks, she now teaches others how to speak with ease. She did not find confidence first. She built confidence one shaky speech at a time. Now you know her secret to use for yourself. Stop waiting for a magical feeling of readiness that will never arrive on its own. That feeling only appears in movies and in the minds of people who never start. Real confidence is quiet, not loud and dramatic. Real confidence says, "I have done this before and I can do it again." Real confidence comes from a stack of small wins that prove you are capable. You can start building that stack today with one tiny action. That action does not have to be impressive to count as a win. Sending one email when you are scared is a win. Making one sales call when your hands sweat is a win. Each win adds one brick to your confidence wall. Do not wait for the whole wall to appear. Just lay one brick today. Your assignment is to act confident before you feel confident. Choose a situation coming up where you usually feel nervous. It could be a meeting, a date, a workout, or a creative session. Before you enter that situation, stand up straight with your shoulders back for 2 minutes. This power pose actually changes your hormones and lowers your stress chemicals. Then whisper to yourself, "I have done hard things before and I will survive this too." Then walk into the situation pretending you are that future confident version of you. Notice how pretending for 5 minutes becomes feeling more real by the end. You are not being fake. You are being brave enough to act first. The feeling will chase after you once you start moving. That is not a trick. That is how human brains actually grow. Chapter 10. Momentum is magic. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to push a parked car? The first push takes all your strength and feels almost impossible. But once the car starts rolling, even a child can keep it moving with one hand. This is not magic. This is the physical law of momentum that applies to everything in life. Starting is the hardest single moment of any journey. Continuing after you have started becomes easier and easier over time. The problem is that most people give up during that hardest first push. They think the whole journey will feel as hard as that first second. That belief is completely wrong and stops people from experiencing the magic of momentum. Let me show you how momentum works in real life with a simple example. Writing the first sentence of a report takes 10 minutes of staring at a blank page. But after that first sentence, the second sentence comes in 2 minutes. By the 10th sentence, words are flowing faster than you can type. The same thing happens with exercise, cleaning, or creative work of any kind. The resistance is highest at the very beginning and drops quickly after. Your only job is to survive that first horrible minute of resistance. Do not think about finishing the whole race. Only think about surviving the first push. Once you feel the tiniest bit of movement, momentum becomes your invisible helper. It will carry you further than your willpower ever could alone. Here is a secret that lazy but successful people know very well. They do not rely on motivation or discipline to keep going. They rely on systems that create automatic momentum every single day. A system might be a fixed time of day when you always work. A system might be a ritual like making tea before you start creating. A system might be a partner who expects you to show up at the same time. These systems remove the need to decide or argue with yourself. When the clock hits 8 a.m., you start without thinking about it. That tiny start creates momentum that carries you through the work. You are not fighting yourself anymore. You are surfing on a wave you built yesterday. Think about water flowing down a river without any effort at all. The water does not try hard. The water just follows the path carved by previous water. Your brain works exactly the same way with habits and momentum. The first time you do something new, your brain cuts a tiny weak path. The second time, the path gets slightly wider and easier. By the 100th time, the path is a deep river that your brain follows automatically. This means starting is hard only because the path does not exist yet. Once the path exists, your brain will choose it without any struggle. Your mission is to cut that path through daily tiny actions. After a few weeks, you will not need motivation. You will just flow like water toward your goal. Let me give you a dangerous warning about the opposite of momentum. Stopping for just 2 days in a row starts to erase your path. The river begins to dry up and the grass grows back over the trail. After 1 week of stopping, starting again feels almost as hard as the very first time. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Doing a little bit every single day keeps the momentum alive and growing. Missing 1 day is fine if you jump right back in the next morning. But missing multiple days in a row is how dreams quietly die without anyone noticing. Do not let 2 days pass without touching your goal in some tiny way. Even 30 seconds of action keeps your momentum breathing. Your challenge is to create a momentum trigger for one important goal. Choose a specific time and place where you will do your stupid small action every day. For example, right after brushing your teeth each morning, you will write 1 sentence. For example, right after making your coffee, you will do 1 push-up. Anchor your new action to something you already do without thinking. This connection uses existing momentum to pull your new habit forward. Do not break the chain for 2 days in a row no matter what happens. If you miss a day, forgive yourself and start again the next morning. Watch how after 2 weeks, starting feels normal instead of scary. That feeling of normal is momentum becoming magic. You are no longer pushing a parked car. You are now riding a smooth, rolling bike. Chapter 11. Other people's opinions don't count. The fear of what other people think is one of the strongest chains holding you back. You worry that they will laugh at your attempt, mock your failure, or judge your messy start. This fear is so powerful that many people never begin anything at all. But here is the truth that will break those chains forever. Other people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you believe. They are mostly thinking about themselves, their own fears, and their own insecurities. Your small attempt is just a brief blip in their busy day. They will forget your supposed embarrassment before they finish their lunch. The spotlight you feel on yourself is mostly in your own head. Other people's opinions are not facts. They are just passing weather, not permanent climate. Let me ask you a hard but freeing question. Whose opinion are you most afraid of right now? Is it your parents, your friends, your coworkers, or strangers on the internet? Now ask yourself a second harder question. Have those people started the thing you are trying to start? Have they written a book, started a business, or learned a new skill recently? If the answer is no, then their opinion about your attempt has zero value. You would not ask a person who has never cooked to judge your new recipe. You would not ask someone who has never run to coach your marathon training. So stop treating non-starters as if they are expert judges of your journey. Their opinion is just noise from the safety of the sidelines. You can politely ignore that noise forever. Here is a powerful mental trick called the 5-year test. Before you worry about what someone thinks, ask yourself this question. Will this person's opinion matter to me in 5 years? Most of the time, the answer is a clear no. That embarrassing moment you are dreading will be completely forgotten by everyone except you. The person you fear might laugh at you today will not even remember next month. But here is what will still matter in 5 years. Whether you started or stayed stuck will matter deeply to you. Whether you tried and learned or waited and regretted will matter every single morning. The temporary discomfort of a judgmental look is tiny. The permanent pain of not trying is enormous. Choose the smaller pain that goes away quickly. Think about the most successful people you admire from a distance. Every single one of them was laughed at, doubted, or told to stop at some point. Every single one had people say they were not good enough, not ready, or too strange to succeed. The difference is that they kept going anyway while the doubters stayed in their seats. The doubters are still sitting in those same seats years later, still judging, still doing nothing. The successful people are too busy living their dreams to care about the noise behind them. You have the exact same choice right now in this moment. You can listen to the crowd that never starts, or you can join the small, brave group that moves forward anyway. The crowd will always find someone new to judge tomorrow. Your life is not their entertainment. Let me share a specific tool to handle negative opinions when they come. Create a mental filter called the expert test before you accept any criticism. Ask yourself, has this person succeeded at what I am trying to do? If the answer is no, their opinion goes straight into the mental trash can. If the answer is yes, then listen carefully because they might offer useful advice. But most negative opinions will come from people who have no experience in your field. They are not experts. They are just scared people who want you to stay scared with them. Feel compassion for their fear, but do not let it become your own. Smile politely, thank them for their concern, and then keep walking toward your goal. That is how free people behave. That is how you behave starting today. Your action is to share something imperfect with another person within 24 hours. Choose a small creative thing like a drawing, a song, or a business idea. Show it to someone who might not understand or appreciate it fully. Notice the feeling of their possible judgment without running away from it. Then notice that you survived the moment completely fine and still breathing. Their opinion did not burn you or ruin your future. It was just a few words that floated away like smoke. Now repeat this small act of courage again tomorrow with someone else. Each time you show your imperfect work, you shrink the power of other people's opinions. Soon their thoughts will feel as unimportant as yesterday's weather forecast. You are not here to please the crowd. You are here to start before you feel ready. That is the only opinion that truly counts. Chapter 12. The What If Flip Game. Your mind loves to play the what if game in the most negative way possible. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I lose all my money? These negative what ifs play on a loop in your head all day long. They sound realistic and logical, but they are just fear wearing a thinking mask. The problem is that these negative questions have no helpful answers. They only lead to more fear and more reasons to stay stuck. But here is the genius trick that changes everything. You can play the same what-if game in the positive direction instead. What if I succeed? What if they love it? What if this changes my whole life? The game is the same. You just flip the direction of your imagination. Let me show you how simple this flip really works in practice. Your old brain says, what if I start this business and it fails? Now you deliberately ask, what if I never start this business and regret it forever? Your old brain says, what if I ask for a raise and get fired? Now you ask, what if I ask for a raise and get it and double my income? Your old brain is not wrong to ask negative questions, but it is incomplete because it only shows you half of the picture. The positive flip shows you the other half that fear tries to hide. Both futures are equally possible and equally imaginary. Why would you choose to imagine the painful future over the exciting one? You have the power to pick which what if gets your attention. Here is a written exercise that will rewire your brain in 10 minutes. Take a blank piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write all your negative what if fears about a goal. Let them pour out without any editing or shame. On the right side, write the opposite positive what if for each fear. If left says, what if I look stupid, right says, what if I look brave. If left says, what if I waste time, right says, what if I learn fast. Now look at both columns with honest eyes. Both columns are guesses about the future that have not happened yet. Neither column is more true or real than the other column. The only difference is that one column makes you want to move. The other column makes you want to hide. Choose which column you will feed with your attention. Think about the most exciting adventure you have ever taken in your life. Maybe it was a trip, a romance, or a career change. Before that adventure started, your brain definitely played negative what-if games. What if the plane crashes? What if they reject me? What if I fail completely? But you went anyway because the positive what-if was stronger that day. What if I see something beautiful? What if I meet my best friend? What if this changes everything? That positive what-if was not naive. That positive what-if was brave enough to hope. The adventure you loved so much started with a positive what-if that you chose to believe. You can choose that same belief again starting today. Positive what-ifs are not lies. Positive what-ifs are possibilities waiting for your action. Let me tell you about a man who flipped his what-if game and changed his career. He dreamed of being a photographer but feared he was not talented enough. His negative what-if said, what if I waste money on a camera I never use? Then he flipped to a positive what-if on purpose. What if I buy a cheap camera and discover a hidden talent? He bought the cheap camera and took ugly photos for 3 months. Then he got slightly better and started sharing his work online. 2 years later, he quit his old job to shoot weddings full-time. That whole new life started with one flipped what-if question. He did not eliminate fear from his mind. He just gave hope an equal voice in the conversation. Hope is not silly. Hope is the fuel of every beautiful beginning. Your practice today is to flip every fear question you hear in your head. For the next 24 hours, catch yourself every time you ask a negative what if. Stop mid-sentence and force yourself to ask the positive version out loud. Say it to yourself, write it down, or whisper it to a friend. Notice how your body feels different when you ask the positive question. Notice how your shoulders relax and your breathing slows down slightly. That physical change is your nervous system choosing possibility over danger. The negative what if put you in survival mode. The positive what if puts you in growth mode. You are not pretending that risk does not exist. You are just remembering that reward exists on the other side of risk. Both are real. Now you get to choose which one you follow toward your future. Chapter 13. Starting again after stopping. Life will knock you down many times no matter how brave you are. You will start with excitement and then something will interrupt your progress. Maybe you got sick, lost your job, or just lost your energy for a while. You stopped doing your daily actions and the momentum dried up completely. Now you feel ashamed, embarrassed, and afraid to try starting again. This feeling of shame is the biggest enemy of second chances everywhere. You tell yourself that you failed and broke your promise to yourself. But here is the truth that will bring you back to life. Stopping does not erase your past progress. Stopping just means you took a necessary rest. Starting again is not a sign of weakness. Starting again is the definition of strength. Let me tell you something that most motivational books hide from you. Almost everyone stops and starts many times before they succeed. The image of a straight line from start to finish is a complete lie. Real success looks like a messy zigzag with many stops and restarts. The famous writer stopped writing for 6 months because of depression. The athlete stopped training for a year because of an injury. The business owner closed their first company before starting a better second one. The only difference between them and someone who never succeeds is simple. They started again after stopping. They did not let shame keep them on the ground forever. Starting again is not the same as starting from zero. You still have all your lessons and experience from before. Here is a simple 3-step method to restart without shame. Step 1 is to forgive yourself completely for stopping. Say out loud, "I forgive myself for resting when I needed to rest." Step 2 is to shrink your action back to the stupid small level again. Go back to 1 push-up, 1 sentence, or 1 minute of effort. Do not try to jump back to your previous peak performance. Step 3 is to start today without promising anything about tomorrow. Do not announce your comeback to the world or post a dramatic statement. Just quietly do your tiny action right now in this moment. 3 steps, 5 minutes, and you are back in the game. Shame has no power over someone who forgives, shrinks, and acts immediately. Think about a plant that loses its leaves in the wintertime. That plant looks dead, brown, and completely finished. But the plant is not dead at all. The plant is resting underground, saving energy for the spring. When spring arrives, the plant does not apologize for looking dead all winter. The plant just sends out new green shoots without any shame. You are exactly like that plant in every single way. Your stopping period was your winter rest that you needed to survive. Your starting again is your spring where new growth happens naturally. Do not waste time hating yourself for taking a winter rest. Every living thing on earth rests and then grows again. You are not broken. You are just following the oldest rhythm of nature. Let me give you a dangerous warning about the shame spiral. Shame makes you feel so bad about stopping that you stop even longer. You miss one day and feel guilty, so you miss another day to avoid the guilt. Soon missing becomes a habit that feels permanent and unchangeable. This shame spiral has killed more dreams than failure ever has. The only way to break the spiral is to stop feeling ashamed of being human. Human beings stop sometimes. Human beings lose energy and focus. Human beings get scared and hide for a while. None of that makes you a failure. It just makes you normal. The extraordinary part is not never stopping. The extraordinary part is always starting again. Be extraordinary by forgiving yourself right now. Your challenge is to restart one thing you have stopped recently. Maybe you stopped exercising, writing, or calling a friend each week. Maybe you stopped working on a dream that felt too hard or too scary. Take out a piece of paper and write today's date at the top. Then write these 3 sentences. I forgive myself for stopping. I will start today with 1 tiny action. I am not starting from zero. I am starting from experience. Then do the tiniest possible version of your restarted action right now. Do not wait for Monday or the 1st of the month. Do not wait until you feel motivated or ready. Just do 30 seconds of your old habit and call it a win. Tomorrow you will do another 30 seconds. You are not back to your best yet, but you are back to moving. Moving always beats staying still, no matter how slow you go. Chapter 14. Your 30-day Start Before Ready Challenge. You have learned 15 chapters of new ideas and tools to change your life. But learning without action is just entertainment, not transformation. This chapter is not more theory or more nice words to read. This chapter is a 30-day challenge that will change your identity forever. You will not just think about starting before you feel ready. You will actually do it every single day for 1 month. Each day has 1 simple mission that takes less than 5 minutes. Each mission is designed to build your courage muscle 1 small rep at a time. By day 30, starting will feel as natural as breathing. Are you brave enough to accept this challenge? Let us begin right now with day 1. Day 1 is the simplest and also the most important mission. Write down 1 goal you have been waiting to start for too long. It can be big like changing careers or small like cleaning your garage. Then write down the ugliest, messiest, smallest first step you can imagine. That step must take less than 2 minutes to complete. Now count 54,321 and do that ugly first step immediately. Do not read further until you have actually done it. Done. Congratulations. You just started before you felt ready for the first time on purpose. That feeling in your chest right now is called proof. Proof that you can do hard things without feeling ready. Save that feeling and remember it forever. Day 1 is complete and you are already different. Here are the missions for days 2 through 10. Day 2, share your goal with one person who might not understand. Day 3, do your ugly first step again but slightly faster. Day 4, write down 3 things that could go right instead of wrong. Day 5, do your action before brushing your teeth in the morning. Day 6, tell one person about the 5-second rule you learned. Day 7, do your action while feeling scared without stopping. Day 8, forgive yourself for any past stops you have taken. Day 9, make your action one tiny bit bigger than before. Day 10, write down what you have learned about fear after 10 days. Each mission builds on the last one like bricks in a wall. You are not just taking actions. You are becoming the type of person who starts. Days 11 through 20 focus on sharing and momentum. Day 11, post something imperfect online for the world to see. Day 12, help a friend start something they have been avoiding. Day 13, write a positive what if for your biggest fear. Day 14, double your tiny action for just one single day. Day 15, wake up and do your action before checking your phone. Day 16, thank one person who doubted you for making you stronger. Day 17, try a completely new skill where you will look silly. Day 18, do your action in front of another person watching you. Day 19, skip one day on purpose and restart the next morning. Day 20, write a letter to your future self 1 month from now. You are halfway through and the fear is getting quieter every day. Keep going because the best part is coming soon. Days 21 through 30 are for integration and celebration. Day 21, teach the 5-second rule to someone younger than you. Day 22, do your action even though you feel tired and grumpy. Day 23, write down 3 failures that taught you something valuable. Day 24, increase your action permanently to a slightly bigger size. Day 25, start something completely new using only what you have now. Day 26, forgive yourself for not being perfect at any of this. Day 27, do your action without counting down because it feels natural. Day 28, write down how you have changed since day 1. Day 29, plan one scary start for after the challenge ends. Day 30, celebrate loudly because you completed 30 days of courage. You are not the same person who started this book. You are now a starter. That identity will serve you for the rest of your life. Here is how to make this challenge stick after the 30 days end. Put a calendar on your wall and mark each day you complete your chosen action. Do not break the chain of marks for more than 2 days in a row. If you break the chain, do not hate yourself. Just restart the next morning without any drama or shame. Connect your action to something you already do every day without fail. After you brush your teeth, after you make coffee, after you put on your shoes. These anchors will pull your new habit forward without effort. Review your progress every Sunday night for just 2 minutes. Ask yourself what worked, what did not, and what you will change next week. This review keeps you growing instead of getting bored or stuck. You have all the tools you need. The only thing left is your choice to use them. Chapter 15. The version of you who already started. Close your eyes for just a moment and take a slow, deep breath. Imagine yourself 6 months from today on a normal, ordinary morning. You wake up, stretch your body, and walk to your kitchen to make something warm to drink. Now ask yourself a question. What did you start in these past 6 months? What did you finally begin after years of waiting and planning and hiding? The answer to that question is not a fantasy. The answer is a real possibility that depends entirely on what you do starting today. There is a version of you who already started. That version is not braver, smarter, or more talented than you. That version just made different choices on ordinary days. That version chose action over perfection one small time at a time. Let me describe that future version of you in more detail. That version wakes up with less anxiety in their chest each morning. They no longer feel the heavy weight of dreams left undone and words left unsaid. They have tried things that did not work out and survived every single time. They have a small collection of ugly first attempts that turned into beautiful second tries. Their inner perfectionist still talks sometimes, but much quieter than before. They have a daily tiny action that feels as natural as tying their shoes. They have failed, restarted, and failed again without losing their identity. Most importantly, they have proven to themselves that readiness is a lie. They do not wait anymore. They just begin. Think about the specific goal you wrote down earlier in this book. Now imagine that goal is already started and partially finished. The first ugly step is far behind you, and you are now on step 40 or 50. You have made mistakes that taught you lessons no book could ever give. You have met people on the same path who became your friends and helpers. You have days when you feel like quitting, but you know quitting is just resting. You take the rest and then begin again without shame or drama. The fear is still there sometimes, but it feels like an old neighbor instead of a monster. You have learned to smile at fear and walk right past it toward what matters. That is not a dream. That is a real location you can reach. The only ticket is daily tiny action taken without feeling ready. Let me ask you a question that might keep you up tonight. What will you wish you had started when you look back 1 year from now? What will future you be sad or angry that current you did not even try? That future pain is completely avoidable starting in this exact moment. You do not need a plan, a partner, or a perfect situation. You just need to take one ugly tiny step before your brain talks you out of it. That one step will not solve everything or change your life overnight, but that one step will send a signal to your entire nervous system. The signal says, I am someone who starts. I am someone who moves. I am someone who does not wait for permission. That signal changes everything because identity drives every action after it. Become the person who started today. Here is the final secret of this entire book. The version of you who already started is not in the future. That version is available to you in this very second. You do not need 6 months of practice to become that person. You just need one moment of choice where you act before thinking. That moment rewires your brain and creates a new self-image instantly. The old you waited for readiness. The new you starts and figures it out while moving. That new you is not a future dream. That new you is a present decision. You can become that person before you finish reading this sentence. All it takes is one tiny action done right now without any more preparation. What is one thing you can physically do in the next 10 seconds? Stand up. Write one word. Send one text. Do it now before the old you comes back. Your final mission of this book is not to read more or think more. Your final mission is to close this book and take one physical action within 60 seconds. That action does not have to relate to your big goal at all. Just move your body in a way that proves you are a starter. Clap your hands together loudly. Jump up and down 2 times. Shout, I start now, into your empty room. Then laugh at how silly and brave you just acted. That silly, brave moment is the seed of your entire new identity. Water that seed with another small action tomorrow morning. Keep watering it every single day, even when you feel stupid. One day soon you will look back and not recognize the person who used to wait. That person is gone now. The new person who starts before feeling ready is finally here. Welcome home. Conclusion. You have reached the end of this book, but you have only reached the beginning of your real work. The words you read will mean nothing if they stay inside your head as nice ideas. The only thing that matters now is what you do in the next 5 minutes after closing these pages. You have learned that readiness is a lie, fear is not a stop sign, and ugly first steps win every race. You have learned to count backwards from 5, shrink your actions to stupid small sizes, and flip your what-ifs toward hope. You have learned that confidence follows action, momentum is real magic, and other people's opinions do not count at all. Most importantly, you have learned that stopping does not erase your progress. You can always start again without shame. The only real failure is the failure to begin. Do not let that be your story. Here is your final push before you close this book forever. Take out your phone or a piece of paper right now. Write down one single action you will take within the next hour. Make it so small that it almost feels embarrassing to call it progress. Then count 54,321 and stand up from wherever you are reading this. Take that action before your brain builds even one excuse. After you finish, smile at yourself in the mirror or the screen. You are not the person who started this book anymore. You are now the person who starts before feeling ready. That person does not wait for permission, perfect conditions, or the death of fear. That person just moves and trusts that the path will appear under their feet. Go be that person starting right now. The world has been waiting for your messy, brave, imperfect beginning. Do not make it wait one more second.